lot of rumors surrounding the New England Patriots, whether it be in free agency, the NFL draft, and now we go to the trade market, as there is a report circulating online that the New England Patriots and Elliott Wolf are interested in trading for a veteran wide receiver. That is music to my ears. It should be music to your ears as well, as the number one need outside of quarterback is finding that wide receiver one. And there are two guys that come to mind in the trade market. Before we dive into that, though, make sure you have joined the channel and have hit that sub button. And you're going to get the latest surrounding the New England Patriots, whether it be rumors, draft coverage, draft news. We'll have it all. But we also trail the Broncos breakdown by about 50 subscribers. That can't happen. We have about 12, 13 days left in March. Make sure you hit the sub button to get up to date on everything surrounding the Patriots, but also beat those nasty Denver Broncos in our March sub battle. All right, the report came from Adam Caplan, and he had this exact quote today in an article that said a league source with knowledge of the situation said the Patriots have looked into the trade market for other veterans at that position, in referring to the wide receiver position. And when you say veteran wide receivers available for trade, that makes sense for New England, at least. There are only two guys that come to mind. Sure, there's other wide receivers out there you could have via trade, maybe a Courtland Sutton. But to fit the New England Patriots' biggest need, which is to be that dynamic wide receiver one to potentially help a rookie quarterback, the only two guys that come to mind are Brandon Aiyuk, the San Francisco 49ers wide receiver, and T. Higgins, the Cincinnati Bengals wide receiver. And I got to be honest, I think there's a chance each of these two guys in a trade could happen for the New England Patriots. There's reasons why I believe both guys could be dealt this offseason, if we're being completely honest, and both of them make a lot of sense for New England, and they have that perfect pick just in the early second round, 34 to be I just completely spaced on the word, whatever, keep on going. 34 to be exact, that was the word. We got there. That's all that matters. And those picks could be used to get one of these elite wide receivers. And let's start with Brandon Aiyuk in the case for the former first-round pick out of Arizona State. While he has 1 year left on his rookie deal, the 49ers did pick up his fifth-year option prior to this last season. He's looking for a massive payday from the 49ers, and there are rumors already circulating that the Jacksonville Jaguars and Pittsburgh Steelers have checked in with John Lynch and the 49ers organization on a potential Aiyuk trade. And he has just been downright terrific in his first 4 seasons in the NFL, getting better every single year. And I'm in the business of acquiring players that are ascending and getting better every single year. You see his first 4 seasons in the NFL on screen right now. What is one common theme you can see every single year? Oh yeah, it's his receiving yards going up, starting with 750, then 830, then hitting the 1K mark just barely. And then this year, really taking that next step to where he was one of the top 10 receivers in all football and was the go-to guy for Brock Purdy, overtaking Deebo Samuel as the number 1 wide receiver in San Francisco. 1342 on the air for Aiyuk, averaging 18 yards per catch and 7 tutties. Aiyuk is the total package, and we'll talk more about T. Higgins in just a second, but if you compare the two wide receivers, and if their costs were very, very similar, I would lean Brandon Aiyuk, but the reason why is because he is so dynamic with his route running. He is a better route runner than T. Higgins. That is an absolute fact. No disrespect to T. He's a fantastic wide receiver. But Aiyuk is better with the ball in his hands. He's better running routes over the middle of the field in the intermediate range. I'll give T. Higgins this. He is a far better contested catch guy and a red zone threat. He is just a big body down in the red zone that would help any rookie quarterback. But if you're looking for a complete wide receiver, Brandon Aiyuk is that guy that could fill that wide receiver 1 role for the New England Patriots. And the Patriots, in my opinion, absolutely need to fill that wide receiver 1 role. So do you believe what I'm putting out there, and do you agree with me? Do the Patriots need to trade for a wide receiver? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I'm typing my Y so much, the Y keyboard might be broken at this point. But you look at the Patriots wide receiver depth chart and why I believe it is such a key for New England to acquire this guy is, well, Kendrick Bourne is your wide receiver 1 on paper right now. I mean, I love Kendrick. He brings fantastic energy to the organization and the locker room, and he's been solid for the Patriots in the past, but he's coming off a torn ACL, and he's just not a wide receiver 1. I'm slotting KJ Osborne in as wide receiver 2. I think he's going to bring a very good ability to New England to stretch the field and be a deep threat. And then I've got this second-year guy, Demario Douglas, at that slot position. I expect Juju Smith-Schuster to be off the roster by the start of the season in September. I believe he will be traded. So you move all these guys back, though. You imagine this, Kendrick at wide receiver 2, Douglas still working in the slot, and then KJ as that third wide receiver outside / fourth guy with T. Higgins or Brandon Aiyuk at wide receiver 1, and this wide receiver room becomes very, very dangerous, which is why I think New England should absolutely explore a trade for either Aiyuk or T. Higgins. And the deal that comes to mind, if New England wanted to get something done with San Francisco and acquire Aiyuk, would be this. You'd clearly have to send the 34th overall pick in this year's draft in the second round. And the good news for you, Patriots fans, is that 34th overall pick is essentially viewed as a first rounder. I mean, it's just 2 slots off of the final pick of the first round. The only downside of that pick, and comparison to a first-round pick, is that you don't get that fifth-year option that you could tag to players like the 49ers did with Brandon Aiyuk. So to make up for that, you trade 34, but also a sixth-round pick, 180th overall, in my opinion, because you have 2 sixth-rounders thanks to the Mac Jones trade with the Jaguars, where that is at pick 192. You trade your other sixth-round pick alongside the 34th overall pick to get Brandon Aiyuk. If this is going to be potentially accepted by San Francisco, New England should go all in and send this offer for Brandon Aiyuk. More to get to with T. Higgins in a second, but I have to make sure my Patriots brethrens are hooked up with this hat and t-shirt combo that is $20 off. You heard that correctly. Chatsports.com/PatsCombo, $20 off. You get the sweet red or short sleeve t-shirt with the nice blue hat. It's usually 50 bones. It's only $30 right now when you go to chatsports.com/PatsCombo. I don't know how long that sale's going to be up there, so take advantage of it. It's going to be in the description and comments of today's video. Hit that link and go cop yourself some sweet Patriots merch. All right, let's flip it over to the Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins now, and the case for why T could be traded from the Bengals and specifically to New England. Well, let's start with number 1. He got franchise tagged by the Bengals. Cincinnati did not pick up he did not have a fifth-year option available because he was a early second-round pick back in the 2020 NFL draft. So the Bengals didn't have an option to put a fifth year on him. So he gets tagged and then requests a trade from Cincinnati right before NFL free agency. When I mean right before, I mean it was literally an hour before the legal tampering started up last Monday. Absolutely ridiculous timing from T. Higgins and the crew. Now, I will say this. It is unclear if Cincinnati will grant the Higgins trade request, but it's hard for me to imagine if a team like New England came in with a strong offer for T. Higgins that the Bengals wouldn't take it, with them basically knowing they are not going to sign him to a long-term deal with $25 million on an annual basis that T wants. And T deserves that, by the way. Just like Aiyuk, he has 2 1,000-yard seasons in his career. The only difference between Higgins and Aiyuk, well, T got started off hot. And I mean hot. He had 900 yards in his first year, then followed up with a couple 1,000-yard seasons. Didn't eclipse that 1,000-yard mark this year, but he did deal with a lot of injuries, only 12 games played in 2023 for Cincinnati. But you see the numbers on screen, man. He came into the league right away out of Clemson, was able to put up 5 or more touchdowns in every single season because he is a big body guy that can just box out his opponents in the red zone, make life easier, make himself a bigger target, which would very, very benefit the new Patriots quarterback, whether it be Jacoby Brissett or a rookie at pick number 3. T is a great wide receiver. He's not as good as a route runner as Brandon Aiyuk is, but he makes up for it in some areas, like his explosiveness down the field and his ability to just go up and jump over the opposing cornerback and put a little Moss highlight tape on Monday Night Football for Randy Moss to get all excited about. And let's be honest here, outside of Rob Gronkowski at the tight end position, T. Higgins would probably be the best deep threat wide receiver New England has had since Randy Moss in 2007 and 2008. So I'd be all in on trading for T. Higgins. What I think it would cost is very similar to the Aiyuk deal, but slightly less. And by slightly less, I mean you don't have to send a 6th-round pick as well. Aiyuk is a better wide receiver than T. Higgins. I think that is widely known, and that is how it is viewed in the National Football League by GMs, by scouts, by front offices. So I think it would just take 34 overall for Mr. Higgins, but it would be quite the deal for New England to make. Pick a wide receiver, though. I laid out the pros and cons of each one and what I think the offer would be for both Aiyuk and T. Higgins. Now, which one would you rather see Elliott Wolf go out and trade for? If it's Aiyuk, type BA. If it's T. Higgins, type TH. I don't think you can go wrong with either one, but let me know your preference down below. I don't care. I mean, I would lean Brandon Aiyuk, but the truth is, all I care about is the Patriots making a move at wide receiver. Trading for a wide receiver, specifically of a wide receiver the caliber of T. Higgins and Brandon Aiyuk, just allows you so much flexibility going into the draft. It is widely assumed that New England, if they stay at 3 and pick a quarterback, they're going to target a wide receiver at pick 34. Well, you don't have a pick 34 if you make one of these deals, but that's fine because you have an established wide receiver that has shown and proven in this league that they can be elite and put up an 1,000-yard season with 5 or more touchdowns. And guess what? You draft a quarterback at 3, whether it be Jaden Daniels, whether it be Drake May, you have a young wide receiver, T. Higgins and Aiyuk, both 25, 26 years old, that young quarterback can grow with and build chemistry going forward to allow you to have a weaponized offense that Elliott Wolf has talked so much about that can compete with the Bills, Jets, and Dolphins inside the division. Just think about the division that New England is playing in right now. You got Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs in Buffalo. You've got Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson, and now Mike Williams in New York. You got Tua, Jalen Waddle, and Tyreek Hill in Miami. What is a common theme there? Above-average quarterback, borderline elite, with an elite wide receiver to throw the football to. New England should model their rebuild after their division rivals by taking a potential elite quarterback at number 3 and then trading for a wide receiver to get that elite duo. I think the blueprint is there. This is Elliott Wolf. You got to follow it. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel because, well, if Elliott Wolf does follow the blueprint out there to make this a good fashion rebuild for New England, we'll have you covered on the latest rumors, the latest news. And if they make a trade for one of those 2 guys, you better know that we're coming in hot with a video and breaking it all down. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel.